Inside the Glamour, Princess Leonor's royal wedding moments. The palace bells echoed across Madrid. A royal fairy tale, finally real. But what no one expected, was what happened inside those walls. Cameras caught the grandeur. Yet, behind the glamour, emotions ran deeper than anyone knew. Because this wasn't just a royal wedding. It was the birth of a new era for Spain. The world watched. Spain held its breath. And Princess Leonor, once the shy schoolgirl, the future queen, stepped into her destiny. She arrived at the cathedral radiant, wearing a gown shimmering like morning light over the Mediterranean. Every thread told a story, tradition, modernity, and the weight of a crown. Her veil, embroidered by artisans from every Spanish province, symbolized unity. The nation saw their history walking down the aisle. But it wasn't just the dress. It was the look in her eyes. Calm, composed, yet filled with emotion she could barely hide. She was no longer the cadet of Zaragoza. No longer just the daughter of a king. She was a bride, and soon, a queen in waiting. When King Felipe escorted his daughter down the aisle, the crowd rose. The cameras zoomed in, catching the faint tremble in his lips. Spain's strong, silent monarch, suddenly a father giving away his little girl. Queen Letitia's eyes glistened, her usual restraint melting into raw emotion. For a moment, the monarchy looked not powerful, but profoundly human. The groom waited, steady, nervous, overwhelmed. His story had long been whispered across Europe. A man of dignity, education, and quiet charm. He wasn't born royal, but that didn't matter. Because what stood between them wasn't politics, it was love. When Leonor reached him, he whispered something. The cameras missed it, but lip readers caught one word: siempre. Forever. And her eyes said it back without sound. The vows echoed in the cathedral's vaulted ceiling. Simple words, ancient promise. To love, to honor, to serve. For Leonor, serve carried double meaning. She wasn't just pledging herself to a man, but to her people. And when the archbishop proclaimed them husband and wife, the bells of Madrid erupted. The crowd outside cheered, waving flags, crying, shouting her name. Princess Leonor of Spain, now a wife, a future queen, and a symbol of hope. The royal procession through the streets was pure magic. White horses, golden carriages, petals raining from balconies. Yet even through the pomp, Leonor kept glancing at her husband, smiling, whispering softly. Behind the glass of the royal carriage, two hearts beating quietly amid the roar of the crowd. At the palace reception, history and modernity met again. The table settings glowed under crystal chandeliers. European royals mingled with Spanish artists, military leaders, and common citizens who had earned the honor to attend. The menu celebrated Spain, from Galician seafood to Andalusian olive oil, each dish chosen by Leonor herself. But one moment stole the night. The father's toast. King Felipe raised his glass, his voice thick with pride and emotion. He said, "Spain has seen many queens. But tonight, I see my daughter. And in her, I see our future." Silence fell. Even Letizia blinked back tears. Then came the dance. Leonor and her husband stepped onto the marble floor as a soft Spanish waltz began. Her gown moved like liquid silk. The rhythm, slow and tender. Cameras flashed, but in their eyes, it was as if no one else existed. That dance became an instant legend, replayed across every screen, every headline, every heart. As the night deepened, the newlyweds slipped away to the palace gardens. Away from the noise, under lanterns and moonlight. There, surrounded by the scent of jasmine and roses, Leonor finally let go. She laughed freely, her crown forgotten, her royal posture melting into pure joy. Her husband kissed her hand, and she whispered, "This is our beginning." But what most don't know is what happened later, away from the public eye. A quiet visit to her grandmother, Queen Sofia. No cameras, no protocol. Just two women, one past, one future. Sofia held her hand and said, "Remember, Leonor. The crown weighs less when the heart stays kind." Leonor nodded, and for the first time, she looked every bit the queen she would one day become. The next morning, Spain awoke to headlines of joy. A royal love story. Spain's future secured. Leonor's grace captivates the world. Yet beneath the sparkle and ceremony, there was something more powerful: connection. The royal family had never seemed closer to their people. For Queen Letizia, the night marked both pride and relief. She had raised her daughter under constant watch, guiding her with quiet strength. Now, seeing her poised and happy, she knew her mission had succeeded. And for the people, Leonor's wedding was more than romance, it was renewal. A symbol that Spain's monarchy, often questioned, still had heart. Still had purpose. Still had love. Even the guests spoke of it for weeks, the warmth, the authenticity, the absence of cold formality. A royal wedding that felt human. As the celebrations faded and the royal couple departed for their private honeymoon, the palace returned to calm. But the echoes of that day lingered, in every Spanish home, in every newspaper, in every heart that had watched her grow. Because this wasn't just a wedding. It was history wrapped in lace and light. A reminder that beneath the crown, behind the grandeur, there's a young woman, who dared to love, to serve, and to shine. And when future generations look back on Spain's royal timeline, this day, Princess Leonor's wedding day, will stand as more than ceremony. It will stand as the day Spain saw its future queen not as a figure, but as a feeling. Grace, love, duty, humanity. That was the true glamour inside the royal wedding of Princess Leonor.